Welcome to the Spare Parts Racing Podcast, your podcast for all things motorsports. With your hosts, Sean Chavarella, Stephen Clary, and Taylor Moore.
Hear that music?
Hello and welcome to another episode of Spare Parts Racing Podcast. I'm your host, Sean.
I'm Steven.
And I'm Taylor.
Friends. How you doing?
Asshole.
Oh, ouch. Starting off with violence
Wow,
right away,
Steven.
Steven.
Yeah,
Is that like your vibe today? Is just violence?
that's my vibe today.
Who pissed
It's
in
not
your
even
cornflakes?
Monday, so what happened?
We made it through Monday and had to go through Tuesday as well.
Okay,
Simple as that.
I mean, like, fair.
We have more
Hump
F1
day is
this
really
week.
True.
Woohoo.
We do have F1
There's
this
that
week.
to look forward to, I guess.
We have F1. We have more NASCAR, which is pretty much always the case
Every weekend you're guaranteed to have NASCAR. It's just kind of the way it works.
every weekend.
Isn't
Yeah.
there Formula E this weekend?
Probably, I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't really
I feel
follow
like-
Formula E, to be honest.
I feel like that's like it used to get
It's
advertised
really
a
good
lot
on
more.
mute.
Yeah.
I still can't listen.
I feel like it got advertised a lot more in years prior, and this year it's just sort of
The same thing was, but like it was the same thing last year with Formula E, right? Where it was just kind of, oh shit, there was a race. Like it's not as
Yeah.
out there and not as prominent, I feel, as it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of found its niche and it's kind of sticking there.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's
Yeah.
when they added
I
the
mean-
like attack zone things. I think it kind of got a little more gimmicky and people stopped paying attention.
Not this week, next week.
Okay, it's next week, fine.
Okay.
It was close.
But that's gonna be round 6 already.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Round 6 and...
they race twice a week, so or like twice per round.
Not
so, like,
always.
eh,
Not always.
Usually.
Just the ones.
Okay. Anyway. What else?
Anyway.
What else is new? for
So,
you guys have a good weekend?
yeah, I mean, like, I was at Motorama this weekend recruiting for MMS,
What is Motorama?
which was like, it's like a custom car show in Toronto.
Okay.
Okay, so like, let me explain. So the demographic of this car show was, I would say, 95% over the age of like 70.
So who were you recruiting?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. We were recruiting the odd, like, young person. Well, we were hoping, but like we didn't really get many people. We did get a misogynistic asshole though, so that was fun to deal with.
Great. Nice.
Well, yeah, so it was a time.
Were there
I
cool
mean,
cars
the
there?
cars were cool. Yeah,
What-
the cars
what was
were
the
cool.
best car?
A lot of them were old.
Your favorite?
Probably like a custom built like 1932 Ford truck that was like lowered to the ground, like, and had like this really big like sound system put in. So
Nice.
one of those.
That's fair.
Yeah, they had some really cool ones, and they were doing tattoos on site. So it was interesting.
Did you get a tattoo?
I wish.
Okay.
What about y'all? What did you do? What did you get up to?
What did I do?
We hung out on Saturday.
Oh, right. Yeah, we did do that Saturday. Huh. Yeah, hung out for Sarah's
Oh
birthday.
my gosh,
Saturday.
even
Shocker.
I knew that.
Shocker.
Even
Sean
I
forgot
knew
he
that.
had something involving his fiance's birthday.
You know
I'm
what?
absolutely shocked.
That was one time. That's fine.
It was one time
was
and you
one
will never live
time.
it
Yeah,
down.
did that, and then Sunday I watched NASCAR.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
Steven?
It's
What did you
basically
do?
The same thing. Basically the same thing.
Wow.
It was a low key
mean-
weekend.
It was a great weekend.
I mean,
That's good.
low key like racing weekend. You know, the world sort of went to shit on Saturday, but we that's not what we're here for. So
I think Steven's referencing the banking collapse.
You know, the banks collapsing, the second and third largest bank collapses.
Those are fine.
Yeah, it's whatever. They're just gonna get bailed out by the Fed. It's fine. It's fine.
Exactly.
It's fine.
They're too big to fail or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, did not. I think I was too focused on the Oscars on Sunday to realize that.
That's fair. That was more important, Steven, the Oscars, than your little whatever bank thing happened.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
whatever.
Who cares?
Who cares about the banks? The Oscars happened.
That is an excellent distraction. I just want to point out, like, oh no, Grace says, hey, look, Oscars.
Oh, 100%.
Sweep this under the table quickly.
I mean, it's also like a months-long hype train to the Oscars that starts like with the Golden Globes and like just continues. It's fantastic.
Well, I'm disappointing Top Gun didn't win Best Picture. That was a fantastic movie.
It was. I actually will say Top Gun Maverick was a fantastic movie.
Of course it was. It's got Tom Cruise.
I'm here for...
Everything Tom Cruise touches is gold.
Yeah. I mean, that football game... Mint.
It was a football game?
Yeah. On the beach.
Oh, okay.
It's not... It's just like
I was
the
thinking
most...
something else. Okay.
No, it's the most fantastic scene in the whole movie.
I'll be honest. I thought you were trying to shoehorn something that Manchester United did. So.
What?
Football. I thought you were talking about Man U, because whatever.
No.
I had no idea where you're going with that, but yes, I understand the football scene.
Much more basically.
Okay, this has gone totally off the rails to start.
Yeah.
So racing stuff. I guess we can talk about the NASCAR race quickly.
We can. My boy Byron won again.
I'm already sick of Hendrick cars. We're like what, three
on.
races in, and I already hate them.
So so I'm assuming y'all heard the whole like hood latch thing. What is exactly going to happen with that? Because I saw it in the news and I was like, this isn't good for my boy Byron, who I'm like obviously relying on for my team.
Strip the wins.
Strip all points.
No.
No, just from the last two races of specifically him. No,
yeah, basically they're checking to see if Hendrick did something with like, I think it's like the hood grill thingies on the top of the hoods. I think that's what it was. To see if
it's
Hendrick
like these
has
like
adjusted them or made modifications to them that give some kind of advantage.
Yeah, all I read was like hood latches, something about the grills, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, they were. I think they confiscated every one of their hoods from the team to take it, I think, back to NASCAR R&D to then see if it has anything. But I don't think they ran them this weekend, and yet they were still fast. So that's what. At this point, I'm just like, fuck Hendrick. They're too good. And they're missing Chase Elliott, which is even more annoying.
Yep. It's annoying for you. Try drafting him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's fair. Well, you made your choice, and so did he to go skiing.
Yep.
But yeah, the race itself.
Yeah.
You know, these races are surprisingly clean this year to start.
To start, yes.
Well, like, remember last year how much of a wreck fest they always were?
Yep.
And people were like, you don't need stages because they're wrecking on their own. You don't need the stages. And now the races are actually very nice to watch and just like have in the background as you're doing something else. Because it's just constant cars going around, and I wish you could just watch without commentary.
I mean, I'm sure you can find that somewhere.
Maybe. Wish that was an option somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was enjoyable. Decent race. Larson and Byron look very strong to start, and I kind of want to throw money of either of them for the championship. Byron could be a good pick, to be honest. He's looking strong to start the season.
For longer odds, yes.
Yeah. Alas.
Definitely someone to consider.
Sean, please, I'm begging you, please do not bet on Byron.
Sean, do it.
I will 100. Yeah, because everything I bet dies, right? So, yes, I will bet on Byron just to spite you. In fact, I'll do it right now.
No, do not do. This is podcast time. You don't need to do this right now.
I am not doing it right now at all. Don't worry.
Don't you spite me. We've
You were-
been friends for how many
You're
years, and
fine.
you're doing
I'm,
this out
I'm
of pure
not
spite?
doing anything. It is perfectly okay.
Ignore the
big,
man behind
Big
the curtain.
liar.
Plus 800. Okay.
There you go.
He's such a
And
jerk.
done. Suck it.
You are unbelievable. If he starts tanking now, I'm coming after you.
I'm just gonna start betting on him every single race now. Hilariously enough, you know who's the favorite for the championship right now on this
I just
app?
saw
Tyler
that.
Reddick?
No, Chase
He's
Elliott
no
still.
one.
Really?
Has he?
I mean, to be fair though,
I don't think he has
like-
an exemption yet.
maybe not. But like,
He's the
to be
favorite.
fair,
Which side are you looking at? Which side are you looking at?
Sports Interaction.
Because I'm looking at
Okay.
FanDuel, and I have someone completely different that
Okay.
I thought you'd be a lot happier about.
Oh,
it's just-
really? Who's in yours?
Oh,
It's a Kyle, but not the Kyle
Bush?
you're thinking. Yep.
Interesting. We gotta
Really?
Okay, we're gonna compare these odds later, Steven, and we're gonna find out who to bet on because these on all the different apps, we can get some good odds here. So we'll do that later.
I feel like though with Sports Interaction saying that he's the favorite, like that's not horribly out of the question because the playoffs are so weirdly set up that it's actually possible.
It's just so NASCAR.
just
that a
depends
guy
on
would
what
miss half the season and still win the championship. So
It is very NASCAR. And maybe that's what their algorithm is based off of.
that's fair. For the race though, for Phoenix, one, I hate the track. I hate the car park of a track that is Phoenix.
Hey, what tracks do you like for NASCAR? Because the last two you said, I hate, I don't like
Okay,
them.
well, no.
So which ones do you like?
what was the last one? Last one was Vegas. Vegas is fine.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you
No,
said you didn't like it.
The last track I hated was St. Pete.
Oh. Never mind. I'm mixing them up.
Yeah, exactly. That's IndyCar.
Just mixing them. Yeah, that was IndyCar. I'm sorry.
It's
I'm
okay.
getting my series mixed up.
Don't worry. Next week I'll make a rant about how much I hate Saudi Arabia. So
I'll join you because I hate Saudi Arabia
See?
too.
all on the same page.
So awful.
But yeah, one Phoenix, the stupid fan out across the entire track is so irritating. I don't know if you're watching the restarts, Taylor. Basically, after the restart, where the old dog leg used to be in Phoenix, which is now turn one, I don't
Mhm.
know.
It's turn one, but it's optional.
Yeah, you can just go underneath. And honestly, I have no idea what the advantage is. Shorter round, but there's no grip, there's no rubber down there.
Yeah, that's all it is. A shorter route, and then you
Yeah.
hope to hold on through 2 and 3.
I
As
hate
simple
that.
as
I
that.
hate that layout so much. I miss old Phoenix. But alas, Byron won. In second place, as always, was Ryan Blaney.
Taking his rightful spot.
Yep, bet on him, of course. Third place was Tyler Reddick. Yep, bet on him as well.
Good. Mm-hmm.
Yep, so I went, missed out just again. Really happy.
Did you bet on him?
I bet on both Blaney and Reddick. So
That explains it.
I know, right? I know.
You need to tell me this shit so I can go bet on other people. Damn it.
Okay, fine. I'll tell you who I'm betting every single weekend.
We need to screw over multiple people. Actually, let's just start betting Byron every week.
I already have.
There we go.
Okay, both of you guys are just unbelievably rude. I can't believe this.
Taylor, you need to get knocked down a peg
So
or
much-
6 in like our I guess fantasy. I guess it's fantasy. You
Why? You guys can't let me have one thing, can you?
No.
No, we can't let any of us have one thing.
You know what? The loyalty? Questionable at best.
Yeah, that's fair.
Friends for freaking years and he just wants to freaking bury me just because I win one thing. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, so anyway, Byron, Blaney, Reddick, Larson, Harvick. That's a decent top 5. Shout out to Josh Berry though, finishing 10th.
Told you taking just whoever's in the 9 car was fine.
Honestly, that was a good result for him, I think.
Can't complain. I mean, because so he's done 2 races now. Last race, I'm willing to give him a bit of a write-off because it was a very last second. Hey, guess what? You're in a NASCAR now,
Yeah.
like a full-blown NASCAR and not racing Xfinity. Have fun.
That's fair.
Where did he even end up? Because it
Who?
wasn't good. That's all.
Last week?
Josh Berry, 29th last week.
Didn't he get in the
So,
wall?
I think so.
I think he got
Either
on the
way.
All right, for NASCAR this week, we got Atlanta, which is a glorified mini super speedway, I think, with their package they're running there. So that should be fun and definitely crazy in terms of betting. I already had my bet for that one.
Which is?
It's going to be a Toyota car. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Bubba.
Fuck you.
I know your guys, Sean. Come on.
Fine, I'll bet another Toyota guy instead.
I was going to say, you have to remember, Steven was
Chris
your
Bell.
bookie for how long?
Fuck you, Steven. Okay, I'm going to do another one.
Jesus. Another what? Toyota? Or
Toyota.
let's see if I can go 3 for 3. Well, you already said Bubba and Bell, so Truex, because he's having a good year and no one
Suck
would
it, it's
expect
going to be Hamlin.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
I
You guys
mean,
need to have your own, like,
lives?
betting thing. Yeah.
This is what we do for entertainment, right? We watch racing and we are sad,
Because you've lost money?
basically.
Always.
You don't win money betting. You just, break even.
Sure.
But
I
you
spent all
hope.
my bet credits on stupid, like, football bets, so.
And that's how they get you.
Yeah. Uh-huh. I was hoping to win $14,000 once, but alas.
Ooh, yeah, that's not a good one. Anyway, anything else NASCAR really do you want to talk about, or is that kind of it?
No, I think that's kind of it. Steven, last thoughts?
I think for NASCAR, the only other thing we could really go over is did you guys see what Denny Hamlin said? That
No.
Might have ticked off a couple NASCAR people after Phoenix.
Uh-oh. What did you say? Give me the tea.
He basically so he got into Ross Chastain late in the race on Sunday. Goes on a podcast, I believe, yesterday, and says, yeah, that wasn't exactly an accident. I just sort of let go of the wheel and hit him.
I mean, I can't say I'm surprised.
No.
Okay.
So.
Do they have like a rivalry or something, or like what would be the point of doing that?
Dominance?
Basically he
To show dominance.
That, or you like he said his tires were dead, so it's like, okay, if I hit him and I don't cause too much of a wreck, I can get some free tires, get back into this, and possibly scoop a couple more points.
Okay.
A little early in the season to be doing that, but I don't know, go for it, I guess.
Isn't it like race number 3?
Every point
4?
matters, or something.
Yeah.
It really doesn't
you know what?
matter.
If it ends up like last year, then yes, every point will matter, but still a little aggressive for race number 5 in the season, or whatever it is.
It's 5? Race 5?
It's 4, isn't it?
4, either way.
Hold
it's
on.
early. It's early is the point.
Daytona, then there was California, then there was
Hold on. 1,
Vegas,
2. Oh,
Phoenix.
yes, it's 4. Yeah, it's 4th.
So yes, we're on race number 5. Anyways,
Amazing.
like it's sort of whatever.
Sorry, you might cut out there. Try it again.
So, I was gonna say it's basically whatever. I don't think anything will really come of this.
That's fair.
Probably not. People say crap all the time in podcasts and the news and stuff like that. So I'm sure people will be like, hey, that's really not cool. And then we'll probably forget about it by the end of next week.
That's true. I would say one more NASCAR thing I think we should talk about that's a little more fun is all the announcements of all the drivers who's going to race at COTA in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Taylor, have you seen this?
No.
Okay.
Please elaborate.
So we have announced NASCAR racing at COTA is, what is it? It's Jimmy Johnson,
Yep.
Ooh.
Jordan Taylor,
Yep.
Okay.
Kimi Räikkönen,
Yep.
Oh.
Jensen Button,
What the
Oh,
shit?
I saw that one.
Connor
I
Daly.
saw that one. I was like, interesting.
Connor Daly, not
Connor
really a
Daly.
surprise.
But still, jumped away. going back in. That's is there any more missing, Steven, or is that all?
I think that was it. I mean, you might be missing one.
Interesting.
At this point, who's to say someone else hasn't said, yeah, screw it, why not? Everyone else is doing it.
Just see Juan
Might
Pablo
as
Montoya
well.
come out of nowhere.
Exactly. Honestly, at this point, I'm half expecting like someone to just drive in off the pits, and you could be like, by God, that's Montoya's music. Like
What
a
would,
WWE
what would the
entrance.
music be, Steven?
I don't know.
Okay, I thought you were gonna do a racist.
No. No, I was gonna. If anything, it would have been just like some heavy guitar rock. Bad
it's
impression.
actually just the sound of a jet dryer burning.
Yeah.
Classic.
Let that be funny.
Exactly. But yeah, so you're gonna have. I guess we can talk about this more. Maybe next week before the race and give more predictions. But yeah, you're gonna have like 6 very talented road race drivers driving in NASCAR, and it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's like what
Yeah.
5th of the field, almost.
Wow.
6th of the
Look
field.
at you doing math.
Yeah, like
Shocked.
a 6th of the field basically being ringers, because that used to be a thing back in the day. You would have the odd road course ringer, and now you got a whole bunch. Oh, and don't forget, there's no stages, right? There's no stages.
Yep.
Is that what we're saying?
Yep.
Oh,
No stages for road
boy.
courses.
At least no cautions. There were still stages, but no cautions. But so yeah, this could be
Yes.
a really fun
Yes.
race to
No.
watch.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, we have.
I'm
They
gonna put a
actually have to
little
do
star
like.
beside
They actually have to do like some strategy. Shocker.
that.
Honestly, why Marco Andretti is not getting in one of those cars for that race, I don't know.
Again, he
Hmm.
might. How is to say that they don't say, Josh, you've done a great job. We're gonna stick Marco in the 9.
Isn't Jordan Taylor in the 9?
Does he take the one taking the
Yeah,
9?
I thought he was
I
taking
thought
the
he.
9.
I thought he was taking an independent.
No, he's taking the 9.
Okay, well. In that case, there we go.
Yeah, he's
But-
subbing. He is subbing
yeah.
for Barry. That's what I mean. Like,
Okay, I thought they were leaving Barry in.
no. And then yeah, so I think you have Jordan Taylor and you have Jensen Button, who are going to be the drivers for the 24-hour Le Mans car.
Oh, yes.
So that's why
Mhm.
they're getting experience now racing and actually being competitive in NASCAR, despite the Le Mans
That
car
makes
kind of being a
sense.
glorified NASCAR. It's not really. It is way different. The Garage 56 car looks awesome though. I'm excited for Le Mans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Le Mans is going to be a really good show.
Yeah, that's the race I am most hyped for this year, to be honest.
Oh, it is the centenary, so
Yeah, and you have like everything in it, and hypercars,
Mhm.
the
it'll be fun.
most of the IMSA cars, everything's there. Ooh, it could be really good. I think it's also the biggest like top class they've had in like a decade,
Hmm.
like different manufacturers and stuff. Anyway, what else do you guys want? Do you guys want to talk about some Drive to Survive?
We
Yeah.
absolutely do. Steven, you finished, right?
I'm done. You're done.
I'm done.
Shockingly, Sean is not.
Nope, Sean is not done.
I'm pretty sure we're like 6 episodes behind on Last of Us because I'm watching it, trying to watch it with Sean, and it's going horribly.
No,
I'm
no.
terrible,
Give
okay?
up. Give
Yeah.
up. Sarah's given up. Like, she told me this the other day. She's like, I give up trying to watch things with Sean. It's impossible. I'm like,
it is.
Okay,
It
harsh.
really is. It really is.
I'm sorry, Sean, but like, you just don't. You're not with the speed.
He's a little slow, this one. When it comes to watching
Uh-oh,
TV
I
shows,
think.
you're
No, it
William.
didn't freeze. I'm just being an ass and just being slow.
Yeah.
No, I know. I was like, I think we broke him.
No.
No,
Yeah,
the hamster
okay.
had a mild heart attack.
Listen. I will get to shows eventually.
Yeah.
It's just not always a priority, and it's very hard to do other things and watch shows at the same time.
Yes,
I
very
disagree.
one track mind. Very one track mind.
Very.
That's how I work on the daily. I've seen so many shows because I watch them while I work.
I don't get that. I don't get that option.
Mm,
Not all of us have this whole work from home thing. Some of us have an office to go
okay.
to.
Well, that sucks for you. Anyway. Okay, so you've seen 4 episodes, so we can at least have you kind of like engage in
I
that
can
kind of
chirp
discussion.
in and I can make my comments regardless. I know the
Fair.
memes.
Okay, so
maybe.
okay, anyway, so let's start with an overall, like, general review as to how you thought this season was. Because I have my own thoughts about, like, especially compared to last season, how Netflix handled the storylines. So I guess both Sean and Steven, like, what were your general impressions of it?
I'm trying to think of how to do this. So that way we can get Sean through the first 4
Okay,
episodes.
I've seen the first 4
Jen-
in entirety, and I've seen
Yeah.
bits of everything else because my parents were
Yeah.
watching it, and I'd come in the room, sit there
Well-
15 minutes, watch a bit, and then fuck off. It's like, I've seen bits and everything, so I kind of know the
Well,
stuff.
and it's not like
Okay.
it's a complete surprise. Like, oh, spoilers, by the way.
Yeah.
You may not know that this happens, and this
Yeah,
you
is
can't
a
really
complete
spoil anything.
twist.
Piastri and Norris turn out to look like
Yeah.
giant douchebags. Wow, shocker.
Yeah. Well, and so that's the thing. I think like this year, a lot of the drama was
McLaren.
pretty natural.
Yeah.
In like, so let's see. I'm just going through the episodes. So like, literally where Sean cuts off is where all the drama begins, and it's like 5, 6. I think a little bit of 7 is all like silly season stuff.
Which was crazy.
Yeah, like that's definitely helped them a little bit. I don't know how you skip Brazil late in the season.
Yeah. So
That was a
that's one of the
surprise.
biggest thing. Yeah, that was one of the biggest things that I noticed is that the footage that they were using were like maybe covering 4 races of the season. Like Silverstone, Montreal was mentioned briefly.
Monaco,
Monaco,
Bahrain,
Austria,
Miami.
France. Oh, okay. So there were bits and pieces of a bunch
Yeah.
of them, but like the focus on the storyline, like I felt Silverstone was seen a lot in terms of just like jumping back and forth, and some of the radios were kind of misplaced into different races.
but
depending
That's
on
always
what
a thing, though.
it's
That's
served,
always-
but
Yeah,
that's always a
that's
thing.
always what they do.
Always.
I think Lando put on Twitch like his little watch along with a couple of his friends, and there's a part where he's like cussing out Daniel Ricciardo, and he's like, "I did not say that there. They've definitely manipulated that." So
Yeah, but that's always
Yeah.
the thing. Like, I don't trust the actual on
Radio
track
bits.
stuff and things they show. The worst one ever was like the Leclerc crash. Where like I think this was like 2 seasons ago. It was like, "Are you okay? Are you okay, Charles?" And I was like 3 times, but like in reality, it was like an immediate response.
Yeah, it wasn't actually that dramatic as they made it out to be.
Yeah.
they love it's like crash porn basically, which is probably why they involve Silverstone so much, because we had a car go upside down. So
Yeah. Which I get. But I also found that in terms of like the drivers' relationships, they weren't inventing like these stupid on-track rivalries that didn't really exist the same way that they did last season, where it was just like they were exacerbating the tension that we saw on track to be like everybody hates each other. It's just cutthroat. So I thought it was like it felt a little bit more authentic this season.
yeah, and again, that probably is derived a lot from silly season. It did sort of go back to like a season 1 kind of vibe for the middle chunk of it, where Otmar got pissed at everybody because Alonso left, Piastri left, so he's just like, what the fuck is going on here? And you could see sort of the animosity from that part of the pit wall. I can't remember which race it was, but I think it might have been Hungary where the Alpines beat out Ricciardo and Norris. One of the races, but they had a double points finish, and Otmar's like, "Yep, suck it."
That's fair though. Like,
So
I think from the bits I've seen of the show, the fact that they're focusing more back on the drive to survive aspect. Like, what's the show about? At the heart of it, what is Drive to Survive about?
making it to the top level and staying there.
Yep, yes,
and
the on-track stuff happens, and like that influences decision-making and stuff. But it's all the behind-the-scenes stuff in the paddock and the stuff that you don't see, those conversations, that make Drive to Survive great. The issue before was fans were mad because they were showing so much stuff, but they weren't showing the on-track stuff, which was just as dramatic.
Yep.
That is fair.
Right.
It was too much politic, then too much on track.
And then
now
I kind of think there's a good balance.
Yeah. It was definitely a rebound season compared to last year.
Mm-hmm.
I do really think that they listened to the feedback that they got from the fans, but not only that, but also the drivers, because I mean they were quite vocal about how they didn't like last season.
Yeah.
So I mean, to the point where Max said, like, I'm done, like I'm not going to participate in this if they're just going to like make everything up.
That was 2 seasons ago, right?
Yeah.
Because then Max wasn't part of it last year.
Yeah.
And then when he actually won, then he came back, and like it seems like they're actually trying to make it seem more authentic and at least try to not make the drivers seem so bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But also, drivers are the best, like, I don't know, billboard guys out there. Like they get marketing. They get like, yeah, I'm not going to call my teammate a fucking asshole or something when Netflix cameras are around. I'll do it later, but like.
Yeah, I will
know.
also. Yeah, I think. I mean, let's also be real. Like, they are definitely showing Gunther as much as possible because of how many people love Gunther on the show. But
he is a great person to follow for the sport because he's at a team that isn't successful, that's trying to compete, that has a low budget. He is everything that makes F1. No one wants to watch like, okay, yep, here goes Red Bull and Mercedes. Yep, they're great. No issues there.
Okay, I actually disagree with that only because I think it is quite interesting to watch how Horner and Toto deal with things very differently, because you could totally see Toto, at least this is the impression I got, you can tell he's not used to losing, but Horner knows that there are difficult years and there are great years, and you have to learn how to deal with both. But you can just it's everywhere. It's just how Toto's responding to not being the dominant car anymore in this new regulation.
I want neither of them to be the dominant car to see what happens. Because it's been Horner, then it was Toto, now it's Horner again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think but like in that, I honestly think that of the two, Horner would deal with that a lot better than Toto would.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I mean, you sort of saw it with all the, like, I think it was very evident in episode 2 where they had the drivers meeting about the porpoising.
That was hilarious.
That was, honestly...
Change your fucking car.
I know, yeah, I know we'll probably get back to, or we'll go back to our favorite parts. I'm going to skip ahead. That was my favorite part.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's just because Toto is just whining and complaining, and because they're the only ones who can't figure out the porpoising. Everyone else has some sort of fix, so he basically accuses them all of being, oh yeah, you guys are putting your drivers at risk. In Checo's saying the car is fucked.
It's like, ask my drivers.
Yeah, but go ahead, ask them. But it was really fun watching Mike Crack just sort of sitting back like, I'm just taking notes here, don't mind me. Capito even said like, oh yeah, it was great to just sit there and sort of hide my grin. Steiner's like, holy shit, and just chuckling away. You could really see that everyone, after like years of Mercedes dominance, was so happy to see this guy struggle.
Yeah, you don't ever want to see someone, that's been doing well forever. It's fun to see them suffer and to see, the cracking under the pressure, basically.
Yeah. I would say like that was one of my top 3 moments of the season, but I would say one of my favorite things was just like, as much as I don't like Binotto, his relationship with Gunther is hilarious. I love it. Like the beginning of them wine tasting, just being like these bros. And then during that like the principal meeting, just like the two of them sitting there like chuckling because they're like, what is this guy even saying? Like, come on. I found that to be like the best part of the whole season, regardless of my feelings of Bonato.
If I am inferring anything from like that principal meeting thing, there's three basically alliances in the F1 paddock when it comes to the teams. There's the Mercedes and their factory kind of guys, who is Aston Martin and McLaren. They'll probably usually agree with Mercedes. You have the Italians, who is, I guess, Ferrari, Haas, and Alfa Romeo, who are just kind of over there snickering. And then you have the fuckets, who are kind of like, I guess you could throw Williams in with the Mercedes camp. Then you got the Red Bull, you got Alpine, and who am I missing here? Alpha Tauri, who's obviously on Red Bull's side. They're just kind of there.
It's almost like it's set up by the customer and
I know,
the
right?
seller.
If only we had more teams and more manufacturers, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
if only.
So I would love to see Michael Andretti in that scenario, just yelling at all of them.
That would be
Honestly,
hilarious.
I feel like his entrance into the show as like a team principal or whatever would be absolutely hilarious, because he would just like sit down and be like, finally.
Honestly, yeah.
I've been trying for like how many years to get an F1 team, and I'm finally here.
Just for that alone, they need to do it. Please.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Netflix, join in. Be a sponsor. I guess
my
they
God.
couldn't be a sponsor.
They could totally. Why not?
Well, because that would be total bias.
Nah.
Who would want to watch like a show that where like one of the teams is sponsored by Netflix?
Yeah, I'd watch that.
All right, fair enough.
Imagine like every week you have a different themed car to a different Netflix show. Like have like a Tiger King car.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly.
No. Why? That's 2 waves or 4 waves ago. I don't even know how many waves or years
get a
it's
sex
been.
education car.
I'd be for that.
See?
100%. With like the weird alien dicks.
Yes. Stranger Things car. Exactly. Speaking of weird aliens.
Oh, that'd be really good.
Exactly.
Ooh,
So yes,
they could have a
Netflix, get in
Demogorgon.
on this.
Actually, this is a really good idea. You know what? I'm taking it all back. I support this.
Thank you, Taylor. I like how Steven's just shaking his head.
Okay.
We're the fun
That's
energy,
not-
Taylor. We're the fun ones.
Well, I was
we
gonna
are
say
the
it's
fun
not
ones. Well,
you.
someone
No, because
doesn't give tea.
I'm grounded in reality with the fact that they would never do that, because the FIA already bitches if they slightly change the helmets on the drivers, let alone the liveries on the car.
Teams have fucking one-off liveries like twice a year now.
All same.
Yeah, if
Why
they
couldn't-
open it up, cool, fantastic. But I can already see it not being a thing.
Well, you know what? Nobody called Reality Steven to the mix here, okay? So,
You would have ran in our
whatever.
parade,
Yeah.
you dick.
Okay, anyway. So what did y'all make of the coverage? Okay, I guess like I can't ask this to Sean because you're not there yet.
Just
so
say
Steven,
it.
Yes.
what did you make of the coverage for the Piastri situation? Because the handling of this, and to see Otmar's perspective, I loved. It was very interesting.
But also knowing the details of it.
Yes.
Like the whole like that they signed him to like a non-contract thing.
It
Yeah, and-
was. They started off on the right foot, following the correct timeline and not having it being broken up like they started with. Okay, Seb is going to retire. Oh my God, it's the race before summer break. Seb's retiring. Okay, cool, whatever. That sucks. And then having Alonso come in and be like, "Yeah, Lawrence just called me. And said, yeah, I guess you're racing for Alpine next year." No. Never said that. And we had a deal done by the time the break was done. Okay, cool. And then they did a good job incorporating all the Twitter drama in with the tweets over the screen.
They missed one aspect. So I did see the Piastri episode though.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
They missed one aspect of the whole thing. That was the Alex Palou part.
They're not going to focus on
I
another
know,
series.
No, but
and
that
that's
puts
why.
so much context into the McLaren.
It does.
Just stealing guys. And that's what they did last summer.
It does, but they're not going to cover another series for free.
Agreed.
I mean, that is very true. I will say though that they definitely did show how shady Zach Brown is in behind the scenes.
McLaren
in
came
the
out as
background.
villains.
Oh,
Yeah,
they really did.
and
Like Zach
that's-
Brown
I
is
mean-
in his villain era.
Yep. They came out as villains as they should be. And I mean, again, it's not that hard to spin it that way when they're spinning themselves that way.
When that's exactly what happened. So what I found really interesting and what I didn't know is how much Alpine had invested in Piastri's development. And like the fact that Otmar, like you can tell that Otmar is probably still really salty about this. Although I'm sure right now he's like, that's what you get.
I would
this
argue they
season.
also got the better driver in the end.
Oh,
I think they did 100%.
in the short term at the very least.
Yeah, like to say that they invested $4 million in Piastri's development, like just as a driver and his career, that is a lot of money. And I totally understand why they were so upset about it. And I understand the aspect of it's the nature of the business, but I also think that Piastri somewhat dug himself a little bit of a hole here because when McLaren is done with him, is any team going to want to touch him now? Knowing that loyalty literally means jack.
Good question.
Has he ended
have
his
no
career
idea.
before it started?
I don't think so, but I feel like that McLaren team comes off just looking like assholes. Like Piastri having no regrets of what he's doing. Lando having no sympathy for Ricardo's struggles. Like, you just look like dicks.
Yep.
And you're not even good enough to be dicks.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Max is a dick, but he can back that up.
But at the same point though, I don't think Max is like that anymore. Like I can totally see Max's maturity coming through in this season more than anything. And okay, maybe it's because he's won, but I honestly think that he has matured so much, even since season 1.
I would agree 100% with that, yeah.
Yeah, he just doesn't come off like that, like the asshole anymore.
Which is
As
fair.
much of an asshole. I wouldn't put it fully. He's not an asshole anymore. But
He's
less of an asshole. Again,
little bar.
taking it from here
Yeah.
down to here.
Yeah, versus the McLaren guys, like I'm happy McLaren's struggling after like watching some drivers survive. Like I'm just like, oh, how the turntables.
Yes.
It's a karma moment, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
And
I'm so
then-
happy Bernardo's gone. Don't have to listen to speaking fucking
Me
Italian.
too.
Yeah. That was
Still bugs me.
I would have to pause whatever I was doing to watch. And it's like there's probably people who speak other languages as their primary language who are like, I don't care. It's good that I get to listen to some of the mother tongue without it being just translated over by someone else. But at the same time, it's not like it gets dubbed over for the English. It's literally if like Gunther was doing it and other people were doing it and they had to dub over in English like half of the show, it'd be fine. But it's literally just you're just trying to be. Sean's brought this up before. You're just trying to be so damn Italian that you're just not even speaking English, and then he speaks English in the drivers' meeting.
Yes, which I find hilarious about that.
Exactly. Like I just don't understand it. But he also speaks like a lot of English to like in the first part to Gunther, right?
Yeah.
Like when they were tasting wine. So like what the heck is the point
So-
of in your interviews with Netflix you have to talk Italian?
Is Fred Vassar going to rock up next year speaking Italian?
No,
If
No.
he does,
No.
I will be so pissed off of Ferrari.
we didn't get a lot of Fred, so it's gonna be hard to say.
I know.
Like in this season, we didn't get a lot of Fred. No Mike Crack either.
Yeah,
You mean my
there was not a lot of
crackle
Aston
for
Martin, and there
season
wasn't a lot of was it Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, and I guess that kind of makes sense. They like if you were to take all the film and edit it out, like there wasn't really great storylines there. The only thing for Aston Martin, how did you not cover more of Seb retiring?
Yeah,
Like that was a disappointing fact. I mean, it was literally just the Instagram video he put out of, yeah, I'm retiring at the end of this season, I'm done, and that was basically all we saw of Seb. That and like the odd cut to the radio where it's like, oh, Mick's behind you.
to Netflix's defense, in the new Netflix area of F1, Seb has not been relevant.
Yeah.
So therefore, two new fans coming in due to Drive to Survive, they may not know Seb as much as they did back as like fans did back in the day. Back in the day, meaning like a decade ago. But yeah.
Yeah.
Was it 2013 was the last Red Bull constructor one with Seb. So it's been almost a decade since Mercedes dominance started. Think of that one.
That's scary.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Time really does go fast.
But I would also say that would be a good chance to try and get people to go back and learn some of the history.
True.
Right? Like just because they did have some drivers being like, oh wow, he's leaving, I can't believe it. But it's like maybe do a couple things like, you know, it's been so great racing with a 4-time champion or something like that, because like you know some of the guys feel like that about certain drivers. You get it a little bit with Mick. Carlos sort of does the same thing with Fernando. It's because he's like, oh, you know, I'm the first Spaniard to win since Alonso did it, and you know, I grew up watching him. The last time he won, I was 10, sort of thing. Like, so you know, certain guys revere him, and there's probably like a lot of guys would have the respect. It would have been great to get more Hamilton reaction from having to battle him for so long.
If you could get like this year in F1, Alonso up there fighting with younger guys and same with Hamilton, then you could probably do that younger guys versus the old vets kind of storyline. But there really hasn't been that for the last 5 years. It's been either Hamilton and now it's Verstappen. Like it's swung one way and the other.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anything else?
I'm gonna say the only other thing that was really good was the second last episode with the cost cap. But I mean, that we sort of got all the same stuff that we got from regular media, which was the most of the principals complaining, like, you know, they breached the cap. So we got it was a little more dramatized, but
I did like the calling out of like, oh, like you spent it on like the catering and then making fun of.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell are you ordering, basically?
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say, like, that was actually something that I appreciated of this, is like the coverage I thought was really interesting, and Horner, you could really see how Horner was disappointed with the whole thing, and like it wasn't necessarily him getting out of them not like having done anything wrong, but I think his disappointment was really like, you know, Max is going to be the champion again for the second time, and instead of it being congratulations Max, you've won like another championship, it's just going to be Red Bull cheated and that he doesn't deserve it. So it's like another
asterisk
kind of
championship.
Yeah.
Exactly, which is again like disappointing, despite the fact that Verstappen had a really good, fantastic season last year and really
dominant.
Yeah, they did it like they're not overspending, or like they did something wrong with the paperwork. They overspent in their catering budget. Like, we can't continue the rhetoric of like, oh, they cheated and car development, blah 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 blah.
Or we can.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Go Aston Martin. Screw Red Bull.
Okay, just because you're on the hype train.
Choo choo.
And I think so. Just quickly to end off on that, it's still a bit of an overreaction, I think, for how like relative to how much they actually overspent. Like, what was it again? Out of
It's like $1.5 million.
it wasn't even that,
Okay.
right? Because they adjusted something else down. They were able to adjust something else down.
I thought it was like
And it ended up-
600,000.
Yeah, it was a couple 100,000, and it's like it's really not enough that it justified being like, oh yeah, we got to kick him out. And again, we covered this when it actually happened last year, and they were going through all the allegations. All the guys that said, well, and they said it in here, sort of, what's the point of having a cost cap if you can just break the rules? Again, let's see you break the rules and see if you're actually going to put your money where your mouth is.
That's fair.
No pun intended.
Mm-hmm.
With the catering? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So-
Okay, that's okay. That works.
All the
Yeah.
And you cut out.
Yeah.
Man, his mic is terrible.
I'm not gonna
No
lie
lie.
though.
I
I'm a
don't
little
know
bit
why.
kind of like, it's not me.
I know, right? It's
I don't know why it just randomly cut out.
It's actually
think
not
it's-
me.
My thing just fell off the side. That's why it cut out.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
I'll say it again. It'll be fun because they've now put a bunch of bark into the Netflix and into media. It'll be fun to see if any bite actually comes this season, which I doubt.
Oh, I hope so.
It'd be great to watch. That would if Netflix has to be pushing for someone overspend by just a little bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it's not Red Bull, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
So
That's fair.
I mean,
Okay.
the end they tried to dramatize the end as much as they could, but it was done, I think, episode 8, where they were following Sonoda because they covered the Japanese Grand Prix. That was one thing that
Yeah.
did surprise me. They didn't really make a whole deal out of the whole
Tractor?
botched scoring. No,
Oh, yeah,
Well,
even that
that-
part.
the botched scoring, they didn't really do anything, and I think that's probably an F1 sort of being like, don't mention that part or the tractor. Mention Sonoda
Yeah.
and how he's happy to race at home in front of his fans, and that's it.
Race.
That's
and
what I was.
quotations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did pick up on that. I was like, the Japanese Grand Prix. I was like, I feel like a lot more happened in this than you're letting on. But okay, I guess we're gonna skip over that part.
I mean, actually, if you want to talk about the race, not a lot happened because Steven stayed up for it, and
that's
Yeah,
true.
That was so
that was a mistake. We appreciate your effort. We really do.
No.
No, you don't. Clearly not.
I am heartbroken you'd think that.
You know what? Props for you for staying up that late.
That's fair.
I didn't even stay up for the whole thing.
I know you gave up.
Well, no. Why would you?
Well, it was red flag forever. That was the issue. And Steven stayed
It
up
was red
for the
flag
entire
for like
red
an hour and a
flag.
half. I stayed up for an hour.
Yeah. So why would you stay up?
It
Exactly.
took another half hour to get through the damn thing. It was like 4 a.m.
I gave up
tired.
immediately after the red flag was thrown. I'm like, nope, we're done.
Yeah.
Anyway,
no, and I didn't
is that all we
even
have?
stay up.
Taylor,
I think
Yeah.
that
Appreciate that.
I think that's it. I mean,
Yeah. I want to go play some damn iRacing. Like, did you see what they did, Steven?
No, what did they do?
Oh, they got the Gen 4 car, NASCAR, in there now.
Oh, great.
Oh, it is awesome. They took
Well,
the
you
ARCA
can go do
body
your
and they
iRacing.
jacked up the power, so now it's just awesome.
Nice.
And-
Okay,
So, yeah,
well, I know what I'm doing.
I'm just
Watch
really
that.
excited to do some. You're gonna do what, Taylor?
I'm gonna go watch The Bachelor.
Isn't that last night?
Yeah, I thought that's the whole reason we have
Yeah.
to record tonight.
No, it's a two night this week. The women tell all is tonight, so I'm excited for all the rehashing of the beef.
I wish I enjoyed
Okay.
The Bachelor. I really do, but I'm happy for.
I'm
you.
not. Well, you know what? I have to get my tea from somewhere because there are some people who don't spill it. So
Steven. talk
gotta
about
get my
I have
fill.
no idea what you're talking about.
it. Okay. Anyway. And on that wonderful note, thank you very much for listening to this episode. We will be back next week. Goodbye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Spare Parts Racing podcast. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and follow the show on Twitter at Spare Parts Racing. That's Spare Parts RACIN, and on TikTok at Spare Parts Pod. Follow the hosts at Sean Chavarella, at Stephen Clary, and at Tay Moore.